violence would come, no matter the condition of the economy. How many had died in the desert this year? Last count, 120. None of the Anglos in Phoenix took notice. At the gas station, the cars quickly lined up, then spilled out onto Thomas. Horns honked. Nobody ever used to honk in Phoenix. A white Dodge van edged up behind me. Inside were a pretty Anglo mom and a little girl with curly hair. They were in the wrong part of town, but hey, I was a cop. They'd be safe. My gaze lingered in the rearview mirror, and I smiled. It took away the nastiness of the morning, where I had backed up a uniformed deputy as we evicted a family from their home. The scruffy lawn ended up littered with furniture, clothes, and brightly colored children's toys as we looked on. It's not my job. I was officially the historian of the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, but I'm also a sworn deputy. Everybody's work had changed since the real estate crash sent the local economy into a depression. Anyone could have seen it coming. Anyone except the majority of Phoenicians who made their living off the growth machine. A columnist in the Arizona Republic repeatedly warned it was unsustainable. He was pushed out of a job. Even law enforcement was a victim of the worst government budget cuts in the state's history. So Peralta made me work uniformed shifts, serve warrants, and now throw a family out of its house. My pile of cold cases grew higher. "They can wait," he said. So I sat there, sweating even though the air conditioning was on high, and smiled at the mother and her little girl waiting behind me. Then the gun fell. It clattered to the cement loud enough to be heard inside the car. I made it for a Glock 17, black and blocky, just like many cops carry. My pulse shot, making my temples throb. My hand automatically went to the Colt Python 357 Magnum in the Galco high-ride leather holster on my belt. The kid reached down and picked it up as if nothing more than a crescent wrench had fallen out of his pocket. He slid it into the waistband of his jeans at the small of his back and covered it with his t-shirt. He was maybe 20, Hispanic, with close-cropped black hair and long limbs. His arms were black with tattoos, and he had bracelets on one wrist. He also had 4 friends. They were in the car ahead of me, a tricked-out low Honda. I wondered how they had all fit inside. In front was a blue Chrysler PT Cruiser with another 4 Hispanic men. One was tall, his muscles showing out of a white wife-beater, the back of his shaved head bearing an elaborate tattoo with 2 large ornate letters and a line of script below it. This was gang territory, and I had parked right in the middle of a meeting. They stood agitated around the cars, brassy banda music loudly pouring out of the cruiser. They were waiting for the gas to flow. I snapped the holster secure and decided to let things be. Maryvale, Scaryvale. The one-time suburban dream had turned to linear slum, and the daily shootings usually didn't even make the newspaper. The tanker driver slid down out of his cab. He set out orange traffic cones around the massive 2-trailer rig. I tried not to imagine a scenario where it exploded here. Next, he slid on thick gloves and used a handheld bar to remove the heavy steel covers embedded in the concrete that led to the underground storage tanks. They clanged loudly. After pulling out a long pole to measure the tanks, a pointless exercise considering the station was dry, he finally began inserting pipes into the ground receptacles, then towed a heavy hose connecting the tanker and the tanks. The driver was short and broad-shouldered, with a wide, red-bearded, ruddy face and arms covered with tats. Inked flames shot up his neck. I hoped, not indicating a death wish, given his profession. A snakeskin design that completely covered one exposed upper arm made room for an eagle and the words, "Aryan Brotherhood, Florence, Arizona." Strapped to his hip was a holster holding a blue carbon steel revolver, perfectly legal in Arizona.